Nature operates on a rhythm of immense scale, a pulse that beats across continents and through seasons. This rhythm is ancient, older than the mountains and rivers themselves, and it is written in the movements of animals as they traverse the wild. One of its most magnificent expressions is animal migration, a breathtaking phenomenon where entire populations embark on journeys that span hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles. The sight of a massive herd stretching from horizon to horizon is a testament to the power of instinct and the unyielding will to survive. This is not simply a random wandering. It is a deliberate, often perilous journey undertaken by millions of creatures, driven by the most fundamental needs of all: food, water, and a safe place to bring new life into the world. Each step is measured, each decision shaped by the memory of seasons past and the promise of sustenance ahead. These epic treks are etched into the very DNA of a species, a collective memory passed down through countless generations. Calves walk beside their mothers, learning the ancient roots by heart, their tiny hooves tracing the same paths as ancestors long gone. From the smallest insect to the largest whale, the instinct to move is a powerful force, a strategy for survival in a world of constant change and shifting resources. Monarch butterflies, delicate and fragile, flutter across continents, while blue whales glide through the vast open ocean, both guided by invisible maps imprinted within. These movements are a response to the planet's ever-changing climate. The sky darkens with gathering clouds, and the wind carries the scent of distant rain, signaling the time to move. As one region succumbs to the dry season, turning lush grasslands into brittle, sun-scorched plains, another, hundreds of miles away, is reborn with the arrival of life-giving rains. The earth itself seems to breathe, exhaling dust and inhaling green as the cycle continues. The animals must follow this promise of renewal. Driven by hunger and hope, they press on, their senses attuned to the faintest sign of change, a distant rumble of thunder, the scent of fresh grass on the wind. Their journeys can be circular, like the great herds of the Serengeti, looping endlessly in search of abundance, or they can be linear, a direct path from one vital habitat to another, unwavering and resolute. They are feats of incredible endurance, pushing animals to the absolute limit of their physical capabilities. Rivers swollen with rain become gauntlets of survival, and exhaustion is etched into every muscle and bone. Every step is a gamble, a trade-off between the exhaustion of the journey and the starvation that awaits those who stay behind. Some falter, unable to keep pace, their stories ending quietly on the margins of the great procession. The scale of these movements is almost beyond our comprehension. From above, the herds appear as living rivers flowing across the land, reshaping the very face of the wilderness. Imagine millions of animals moving as one, a single flowing entity transforming the landscape itself. Each individual is part of a greater whole, their fates intertwined in a dance as old as time. The ground trembles under the thunder of their hooves, and the air fills with a cacophony of calls and bellows. Dust rises in swirling clouds, marking the passage of life on the move. This is not just a collection of individuals, it is a superorganism, a moving city of life that carries with it an entire ecosystem. Birds soar above, following the herds, while smaller creatures dart between the legs of giants, all bound together by the journey. Predators follow in its wake, their eyes fixed on the weak and the weary. Scavengers clean up what is left behind, and the very soil is fertilized and tilled by the passage of the herds, ensuring the cycle of life continues. Migration is the engine that drives some of the planet's most vibrant and dynamic wildernesses. The movement of herds shapes the land, carving paths through forests and grasslands and breathing life into every corner they touch. Understanding these great journeys is to understand the intricate connections that bind all living things. Each footprint in the mud is a story, each crossing a moment of decision and destiny. The path of a single herd can dictate the fortunes of a pride of lions, the nesting success of a vulture, and even the health of the grasses upon which they depend. The ripple effects of migration touch every creature, every blade of grass, every drop of water. It is a story of resilience, of instinct, and of a deep, ancient wisdom. Young animals learn from their elders, absorbing the lessons of survival with every step. By observing these migrations, we witness the challenges of life in the wild and the remarkable strategies that have evolved to overcome them. The journey is relentless, but so is the spirit of those who undertake it. It is a drama on the grandest possible stage, a timeless spectacle of survival against all odds. In the fading light, the migrating herds press on, their silhouettes a living testament to the enduring power of nature's great journey. Nowhere on Earth is the drama of migration more vivid or more famous than in the Serengeti Mara ecosystem of East Africa. This is the stage for the Great Migration, arguably the largest overland movement of mammals on the planet. Each year, in a vast, continuous loop, nearly 2 million animals embark on a journey of over 500 miles across the plains of Tanzania and Kenya. It is a relentless, circular pilgrimage dictated by the rhythm of the rains. The driving force is a singular, desperate search for fresh green grass and reliable water, a quest that defines every moment of their existence from birth until death. The migration is a year-long cycle. It begins in the southern Serengeti on the vast, nutrient-rich shortgrass plains. From January to March, this area becomes a gigantic nursery. In a remarkable feat of synchronized birth, around 500,000 wildebeest calves are born within a frantic 3-week period. This is a strategy of overwhelming the predators. There are simply too many newborns for the lions and hyenas to possibly hunt them all. Within minutes of being born, a calf can stand on wobbly legs, and within a quarter of an hour it can run alongside its mother, a crucial skill for surviving its first few vulnerable days on these open plains. As the southern plains begin to dry out around April, the great herds are stirred into motion. They begin a long, arduous trek, moving west and then north, a vast river of life flowing across the landscape. The sheer number of animals is staggering. Over 1.5 million blue wildebeest form the backbone of the migration. Their grunting calls a constant rolling chorus. They are joined by hundreds of thousands of zebras and Thompson's gazelles, each playing a unique role in this traveling ecosystem. This is a journey fraught with peril. It is estimated that 250,000 animals will not survive to see the southern plains again, succumbing to thirst, hunger, exhaustion, and predation. The climax of this northward journey occurs around July, when the herds reach the great rivers that bar their path, the Grumeti in Tanzania and the Mara in Kenya. These river crossings are legendary spectacles of chaos, panic, and raw courage. The animals mass on the banks, hesitant, until the pressure from behind forces the first brave individuals to plunge into the deep, fast-flowing water. It is here that they face one of their most fearsome adversaries, the giant Nile crocodiles that lie in wait. In these terrifying crossings, thousands can perish in a matter of hours, a brutal but necessary chapter in their unending cycle of life and death. The river itself is a thriving ecosystem teeming with life. Fish swim in the clear waters while birds perch on branches, ever watchful for an opportunity. Hippos, with only their eyes and nostrils visible above the water, add to the river's dynamic, creating a sense of both tranquility and tension. Crocodiles sunbathe on the river banks, their eyes and teeth hinting at the danger that lurks beneath the surface. Birds like herons and kingfishers dive into the water, catching fish with precision, showcasing the river's role as a vital source of sustenance. As the herds reach the river, they pause to drink, sharing the water's edge with zebras and gazelles, a moment of respite in their arduous journey. The constant movement of hooves stirs up the mud, eroding the riverbanks and altering the landscape, a testament to the migration's profound impact on the environment. The river, a lifeline for the migrating herds, flows through the savanna, its waters a symbol of both life and death in this epic journey. As the sun sets over the river, the silhouettes of the animals create a breathtaking scene, a reminder of the beauty and brutality of nature's grand spectacle. The Great Migration is far more than a simple journey. It is a living, breathing symphony of survival, where every note is played by a different species, each with its own unique strengths and strategies. In this grand spectacle, wildebeests, zebras and gazelles move as one, their destinies intertwined in a delicate balance of cooperation and competition. The survival of the entire herd depends on the specialized roles and instincts of each group. Every animal, from the largest wildebeest to the smallest gazelle, must constantly adapt to the ever-changing dangers and opportunities of the wild. At the forefront of this epic journey are the Grant's zebras. They are the scouts, the pathfinders, venturing into the unknown with courage and determination. Their survival strategy is rooted in leadership and memory, guiding the masses through the vast, unpredictable savanna. Zebras possess an extraordinary memory for the landscape, recalling the safest routes and river crossings from years past. This knowledge is vital, as the wrong path could lead the herd into the jaws of waiting predators or treacherous waters. Their sharp eyesight and acute hearing make them the sentinels of the migration. Always alert, they scan the horizon for the slightest movement or sound, detecting threats long before others are aware. This vigilance is a crucial survival tactic, giving the herd precious seconds to react to danger. Zebras are uniquely adapted to consume the toughest, driest grasses that other grazers cannot stomach. Their strong teeth and digestive systems allow them to thrive where food is scarce, ensuring they can always find sustenance even in the harshest seasons. As they graze, zebras act as the ecosystem's lawnmowers, trimming the tall, coarse grass and making way for others. This not only feeds them, but also transforms the landscape, setting the stage for the next wave of grazers. The wildebeest, ever watchful, follow closely behind. The zebra's grazing exposes the more nutritious medium-length grasses that the wildebeest prefer, creating a perfect sequence of survival and resource sharing. With their broad muzzles, wildebeest are perfectly designed to crop these medium grasses efficiently. Their ability to exploit this niche means they can feed in the wake of the zebras, reducing direct competition and maximizing the food available to all. This sequential grazing is a masterstroke of survival strategy. By sharing the same pasture in harmony, each species secures its own food source while supporting the others, creating a dynamic balance that sustains the entire herd. Such cooperation is rare in the wild, yet here it is the key to survival. The harmony of these herds is a testament to the power of adaptation and mutual benefit. The wildebeest, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, are the beating heart of the migration. Their sheer abundance is both their shield and their strength. Safety in numbers is their primary defense. By clustering together, they create a living fortress, making it difficult for predators to single out the weak or the young. Calves are kept at the center of the herd, shielded by a wall of vigilant adults. Predators may watch from the shadows, but the massed ranks of wildebeest present a daunting challenge, deterring all but the most determined hunters. Alone, a wildebeest is vulnerable, but together they move as a single, unstoppable force, their unity a powerful survival strategy against the dangers of the plains. Their journey is guided by instinct and an acute sense of smell, able to detect distant rain and the promise of fresh grass. This constant movement prevents overgrazing and ensures the survival of the herd, as they are always in search of new pastures and safety. Trailing behind the great herds, the Thompson's gazelles employ a different survival strategy. They are the opportunists, arriving after the larger grazers have passed through. These nimble antelopes take advantage of the newly exposed tender shoots and herbs that flourish in the wake of the migration. Their small size and agility allow them to thrive where others cannot. With delicate muzzles, they nibble at the very base of the grass, extracting nutrients from the freshest growth. This specialization allows them to avoid direct competition and make the most of what remains. The result is a three-tiered system of survival where each species plays a vital role. By dividing the available resources, they ensure that all can thrive even in the face of drought, predators, and the relentless challenges of the wild. Together, the zebra, the wildebeest, and the gazelle form a living engine of survival, their combined strategies powering the Serengeti and sustaining the delicate balance of life on the savanna. Where there is such a great concentration of life, death is never far away. The African plains are a stage where the ancient drama of predator and prey unfolds with relentless intensity. Each day, a new chapter in the struggle for survival. The Great Migration is a spectacle of movement and vulnerability. As millions of wildebeest surge across the grasslands, they become a living river, drawing the attention of every predator for miles around. For the hunters of the Serengeti, this is a season of opportunity, and each species has honed its own unique tactics to exploit the chaos. The undisputed rulers of these plains are the lions, their golden coats blending seamlessly with the sun-bleached grasses. With patience and power they watch and wait, their amber eyes fixed on the endless procession of potential prey. Lions are social hunters, relying on the strength and coordination of the pride. As dusk falls, they fan out, moving silently through the grass, each member playing a role. Some drive the herd, others lie in ambush. With a sudden burst of speed, they isolate a wildebeest, the pride converging in a flurry of muscle and claws. The hunt is swift, brutal, and efficient, a testament to generations of learned strategy, yet not all lions hunt with the pride. For a lone lioness raising cubs, the migration is a double-edged sword. The abundance of prey is matched by the dangers of competition and the ever-present threat to her vulnerable young. She must hunt with precision and frequency, her success measured in the nourishment she can provide. Each meal is hard won, and every hunt is a gamble. Failure means hunger for her and her cubs, while success brings a brief respite in the shade of the acacia. Shadowing the herds with tireless resolve are the spotted hyenas. Their haunting calls echo across the plains, signaling both opportunity and danger. Far from being mere scavengers, hyenas are formidable hunters. Their keen senses and relentless stamina allow them to track the herds for miles, waiting for the moment when panic or exhaustion leaves an animal exposed. In large, disciplined clans, hyenas execute complex hunting maneuvers. They communicate with eerie whoops and cackles, coordinating to encircle their quarry. With jaws snapping and bodies weaving, they close in, overwhelming even the strongest prey through sheer numbers and persistence. Their jaws are among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of shattering bones that would defeat other predators. Nothing is wasted. Every scrap of flesh and bone is consumed, fueling the clan for the next relentless pursuit. In some regions, hyenas are responsible for the vast majority of their own meals, their hunting prowess making them one of Africa's most successful carnivores. Their efficiency ensures that little is left behind for other scavengers, but when it comes to speed, the cheetah reigns supreme. Built for explosive acceleration, it is the fastest land animal, a living missile streaking across the open plains. In a heartbeat, the cheetah can surge from a standstill to 60 miles per hour, its spine flexing like a coiled spring, legs blurring as it closes the gap on its chosen target. Stealth is its ally. The cheetah creeps low through the grass, every muscle tensed, eyes locked on a young gazelle. Only when it is within striking distance does it unleash its astonishing speed, the chase a blur of motion and dust. The pursuit is a test of nerves and stamina, lasting mere seconds. If the cheetah succeeds, it must act quickly, for its slender frame is built for speed, not strength. Exhausted and vulnerable, the cheetah gulps down its prize, every heartbeat a race against time. The energy spent in the chase leaves it exposed, and the scent of blood soon draws the attention of larger, more powerful rivals. Lions and hyenas, ever watchful, may appear at any moment, ready to steal the cheetah's hard-won meal. The cheetah must eat fast or risk losing everything to the stronger jaws of its competitors. As dusk settles, two other solitary hunters emerge from the shadows, their movements silent and deliberate. The leopard, a phantom among the branches, is the embodiment of stealth. Its rosette-spotted coat breaks up its outline, allowing it to vanish into the dappled light and shadow of the trees. With a sudden, explosive leap, the leopard seizes its prey, relying on raw power and precision. Its muscles ripple as it drags the catch to safety, away from the ever-present threat of scavengers. In a feat of strength unmatched on the plains, the leopard hauls its kill high into the branches, where it can feast in peace, safe from the hungry eyes below. Here it dines alone, the master of its secret domain, but the dangers of the migration are not confined to the land. In the rivers, the ancient Nile crocodile lies in wait, its armored body barely breaking the surface, eyes and nostrils the only sign of its presence. As the herds plunge into the water, panic erupts. Crocodiles explode from the depths in a frenzy of jaws and thrashing tails, seizing the unwary in a vice-like grip. The river becomes a gauntlet of terror, a final deadly test for the migrating herds. Here the balance of life and death is decided in an instant, and only the strongest or luckiest survive to continue the journey across the endless plains. While the Serengeti migration often takes center stage in the world's imagination, it is just one thread in the vast tapestry of animal odysseys that unfold across the African continent. Hidden from the spotlight, other epic journeys are taking place, each a saga of endurance, instinct, and survival. Across Africa's wild heartlands, countless migrations play out in silence, their scale and drama rivaling the most famous spectacles. Herds of antelope surge across endless plains, driven by ancient rhythms and the promise of renewal. In the sprawling wetlands of South Sudan, a hidden marvel unfolds. Here, what is now believed to be the largest overland migration on Earth takes place, largely unseen and unheralded. Over 5 million animals, vast herds of white-eared kobe, the elegant Tiang antelope, and nimble Mongala gazelles surge between the wild sanctuaries of Boma and Badingilo national parks, sometimes venturing into the green edges of Ethiopia. Their hooves churn the earth, forging ancient paths through marsh and grassland. This immense movement is a living river, a testament to the resilience of wildlife in a region slowly healing from decades of turmoil. Each animal, from the youngest calf to the oldest matriarch, is part of a story written in dust and rain. Further south, the Liuwa Plain in Zambia becomes a stage for another remarkable journey. Here, wildebeest gather in anticipation, their numbers swelling as the seasons shift. Though smaller than the Serengeti's great herds, over 45,000 wildebeest embark on a journey that is no less vital. Each step is a gamble against predators, hunger and exhaustion. When the first rains fall, painting the plains green and signaling the end of the dry season, the herds move. Mothers seek safe ground to give birth, and newborn calves take their first trembling steps into a world of uncertainty and hope. This migration is quieter, more intimate, a subtle ballet of endurance and instinct, unfolding across a remote and hauntingly beautiful landscape. Whether in the millions or the tens of thousands, these animals are bound by a shared compulsion to move, a force as old as the land itself. Their journeys are a living testament to the power of instinct and the promise of survival. In Botswana, a mystery once puzzled scientists. Faint trails etched across the savanna, winding through the wilderness. Today these trails are recognized as the route of Africa's longest recorded linear mammal migration, a journey that stretches the limits of endurance and navigation. Thousands of Burchell's zebras, their stripes shimmering in the sun, set out in a remarkably straight line, as if guided by an invisible compass. They leave the permanent waters of the Chobe River, trekking hundreds of miles south to the Ansai Pan salt pans, where the rains awaken a flush of green grass. When the bounty fades, the zebras turn and retrace their steps, crossing vast plains and shimmering salt flats on their return journey. This arrow-straight migration is a marvel of animal navigation, a demonstration of deep-rooted memory and an unerring sense of place passed down through generations. Above, the skies themselves become highways for epic journeys. Flocks of birds, some no larger than a fist, set out on migrations that span continents. The Great Rift Valley, a colossal scar running down Africa's eastern flank, forms a natural corridor, a superhighway for migratory birds. Known as the Rift Valley Flyway, this route is one of the world's 9 great migratory flight paths, a living river of wings and feathers. Each year, over 2 million birds, majestic white storks, powerful steppe eagles, and endangered Egyptian vultures navigate this aerial highway, travelling between distant breeding grounds in Eurasia and the welcoming warmth of Africa's wintering lands. They follow the valley's contours, avoiding the harsh, empty expanse of the Sahara. In the sky, they form a feathered river, flowing with purpose and grace, a silent testament to the wonders of migration that shape the wild heart of Africa. In the vast, sun-drenched savannas of Africa, not all animal movements follow a strict, predictable cycle like the legendary Great Migration. Instead, a different kind of drama unfolds, one shaped by the ever-changing needs of the land and its inhabitants. Many of Africa's most iconic giants are nomads, their journeys dictated not by a calendar, but by the urgent search for food, water, and safety. Among these wanderers, elephants and buffalo stand out, their paths often crossing in a delicate dance of coexistence and competition. The African bush elephant, the largest land animal on Earth, is a living memory bank. Each herd is led by a matriarch whose wisdom is etched in the lines of her weathered skin and the depth of her gaze. She guides her family with a blend of experience and intuition, recalling the faint scent of distant waterholes and the subtle signs of hidden danger. Her leadership is the difference between life and death, especially when the land grows harsh and unforgiving. In times of drought, the matriarch's memory becomes a lifeline. She may lead her herd across endless plains, her steps sure and steady, to a water source she last visited decades ago. The arrival at a hidden waterhole is a moment of triumph, a testament to the power of memory and perseverance. Elephants are more than travellers, they are architects of the savanna. With every step they reshape the land, breaking branches to reach tender leaves, digging into the earth for roots and water, and leaving behind a transformed landscape. Their actions ripple outward, creating opportunities for countless other creatures. Where elephants feed, birds and antelope gather, drawn by the bounty unearthed by these gentle giants. With their immense strength, elephants topple trees, opening up dense woodlands and allowing sunlight to reach the ground. New grasses sprout in their wake, inviting grazers to feast where once there was only shadow. As they move, elephants carve wide trails through tangled bush, forging highways that smaller animals eagerly follow. These paths become lifelines, connecting water, food and shelter across the savanna. During the dry season, elephants use their tusks and powerful feet to dig deep into parched riverbeds. The wells they create become oases, sustaining not just their own herd, but a parade of thirsty animals, zebra, antelope and even buffalo, drawn by the promise of water. Under the cover of darkness, elephant herds may travel up to 50 miles in a single night, their silhouettes moving silently across the moonlit plains. Each journey leaves a mark, renewing the land and ensuring the cycle of life continues. Sharing these wild spaces are the African buffalo, formidable and resilient. Their herds graze in the open, their dark forms shifting like a living tide across the grasslands. Buffalo move with purpose, their migrations shaped by the search for water and fresh grazing. In the dry season they retreat to wetlands and riverbanks where the mud cools their skin and the water slakes their thirst. Sometimes herds merge to form superherds, thousands of buffalo, moving as one, their sheer numbers a shield against prowling predators. The ground trembles beneath their hooves, and the air is thick with the sound of their low, rumbling calls. Within these herds, a remarkable form of decision-making unfolds. When it's time to move, the buffalo pause, each adult female casting her vote by facing the direction she prefers. Gradually, consensus emerges. The herd shifts, following the direction chosen by the majority, a silent democratic process that ensures the safety and survival of all. Alongside elephants and buffalo, other nomads roam. The common eland, largest of the antelope, drifts across the plains in search of green shoots and water, their movements as fluid and unpredictable as the rains themselves. Elands gather at waterholes after storms, their presence a sign that the land is once again alive with promise. Their wandering is guided by instinct and the subtle cues of the changing seasons. Even the springbok, famed for its spectacular leaps, follows the shifting patterns of rain and grass, its journey a dance with the unpredictable rhythms of the wild. In this ever-changing world, the movements of elephants, buffalo, and their fellow nomads are a testament to resilience and adaptability. Their journeys shape the land, create opportunities for others, and ensure that life in the savanna endures, no matter how unpredictable the path may be. In the heart of southern Africa, a breathtaking mosaic of water, grassland, and forest sprawls across the land. This is the Okavango Delta, a sanctuary where the drama of life unfolds in spectacular fashion. Here the Okavango River, after a long journey, pours its life-giving waters not into the ocean but into the thirsty sands of the Kalahari Desert, creating a vast inland delta unlike any other on Earth. Each year a miraculous transformation takes place. Floodwaters born in the distant Angolan highlands snake their way south for months, finally spilling into the Okavango Basin. As the water fans out, it breathes new life into over 8,500 square miles, turning parched earth into a shimmering emerald paradise. The arrival of the flood is a signal for a grand gathering. Herds of elephants, antelope and zebra converge on the swelling waters, while flocks of storks, herons and kingfishers fill the air with colour and sound. Over 200,000 large mammals and 400 species of birds depend on this annual pulse, their lives woven into the rhythm of the rising and falling waters. The delta's heartbeat is the flood itself. As water creeps across the land, it carves out new channels, submerges old ones, and creates a shifting patchwork of islands and lagoons. Every creature here is attuned to this cycle, their fates rising and falling with the waterline. When the flood is at its peak, thousands of islands emerge, marooning animals together in close quarters. Antelope and buffalo crowd onto shrinking patches of dry land, while crocodiles and hippos patrol the waterways. Predators and prey are forced into uneasy proximity, and the tension of survival hangs thick in the air. For the lions of the Okavango, this is a season of abundance. The pride moves with purpose through the tall grasses, their golden coats blending perfectly with the sunlit reeds. Every sense is sharpened, every movement calculated as they stalk the herds that gather at the water's edge. Among these prides, the Kakan pride stands out. Their territory stretches across 460 square miles, a vast domain of islands, channels, and floodplains. Each day they patrol its boundaries, marking their presence and searching for signs of prey. The pride's survival and that of their playful cubs is tied to the movements of the mighty African buffalo. These formidable beasts are both a prize and a peril, their sheer strength and numbers making every hunt a test of skill and courage. The hunt is a spectacle of strategy and teamwork. Lionesses fan out, using the cover of reeds and water to approach undetected. When the moment comes, they explode into action, risking injury and exhaustion for a chance at a meal. Success is never guaranteed. Only 1 in 4 or 5 hunts ends in victory. For the pride, every successful hunt is a lifeline. An adult lion must consume between 11 and 15 pounds of meat each day to maintain its strength. The pressure on the hunting females is immense, as they must provide not only for themselves, but for the cubs and the pride's future. During the wet season, when buffalo are plentiful and the land is lush, the pride flourishes. After a successful hunt, Lions lounge in the shade, bellies full, cubs tumbling and playing in the grass, the air filled with the sounds of contentment. In times of plenty the pride grows. In one remarkable stretch, 6 lionesses gave birth to 13 cubs in just 6 months, a testament to the bounty the delta can provide when conditions are right. But the Okavango's generosity is fleeting. Dark clouds gather, signaling the end of the flood and the approach of the dry season. The landscape begins to change once more. As the waters recede from August onwards, the great buffalo herds begin their migration, leaving behind cracked earth and shrinking pools. The lion's territory empties, and the easy days of abundance slip away. Now begins the season of hardship. The pride grows thin, hunger gnawing at their bellies. Each day is a struggle to find enough food, and the once playful cubs grow quiet and watchful. With their main prey gone, the lionesses face agonizing choices. They scan the horizon, weighing the risks of venturing into unknown territory or challenging neighboring prides. Sometimes desperation drives them to cross into rival lands where fierce battles can erupt. These confrontations are brutal, with the fate of cubs and territory hanging in the balance. Other times the pride turns to smaller prey, warthogs, antelope, even birds, each meal hard-won and never enough to satisfy the pride's hunger. For the cubs, these are the most perilous days. They hide in the tall grass, venturing out only when the coast is clear, their survival dependent on the pride's ability to find food. The odds are stacked against them. In the harshest years, as many as half of all cubs do not survive their first year, and the dry season claims the weakest and most vulnerable. The story of the Okavango lions is a powerful reflection of the delta itself, a world of abundance and scarcity, of fierce competition and fragile hope. Here every creature is shaped by the eternal dance of water and drought, and every season brings a new chapter in the epic saga of survival. For any migration to succeed, the animals need more than just a starting point and a destination. They need a safe pathway to travel between them. These ancient routes, etched into the landscape by generations of hooves and paws, are the lifelines that connect distant habitats and allow the great journeys of the wild to unfold. These migratory corridors are the vital arteries of the wilderness, threading together fragmented lands and enabling animals to complete their life-sustaining odysseys. Herds of wildebeest, zebra, and antelope follow these invisible highways, guided by instinct and the memory of generations past. These corridors are essential for maintaining genetic diversity, allowing herds to mingle and populations to remain strong and resilient. They offer the flexibility for species to shift their ranges, adapting to the ever-changing rhythms of the climate and the land. Yet these ancient pathways face mounting threats. Across the globe, barriers rise, fences and obstacles that slice through the wilderness, severing routes that have existed for millennia. Trails that once echoed with the thunder of hooves now end in silence, as herds are halted by impassable boundaries. Roads and railways carve through the land, fragmenting habitats and forcing animals to navigate perilous crossings. The expansion of farmland and the sprawl of cities press ever deeper into wild spaces, squeezing herds into shrinking pockets of wilderness. The result is a slow, heartbreaking decline. Migrations that once spanned hundreds of miles now dwindle, and some have vanished entirely. Trails that were once lush and teeming with life now lie empty, the earth cracked and silent beneath the relentless sun. The rhythm of migration is intimately tied to the rhythm of the seasons. Animals sense the subtle shift in the wind, the distant promise of rain, and begin their journey across the land. But as the climate grows more unpredictable, these cues become harder to read. Storms may gather and then vanish. Rains may fail to arrive or come too late. Herds that have travelled for days may find only barren ground where lush grass once grew, their journey ending in hunger and confusion. When instinct collides with a changed reality, the consequences can be devastating. Starvation and exhaustion take their toll, and entire populations can collapse, leaving the land eerily quiet where once it pulsed with life. Yet hope endures in the wild. In some places the land itself is healing. Corridors once blocked are being reopened as barriers fall and native vegetation returns. In the heart of Africa, the Okavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, CASA, stretches across 5 countries, reconnecting ancient roots and allowing herds to roam as they once did. Here, elephants, lions, and wild dogs move freely across vast open landscapes, crossing invisible borders as they follow the call of the seasons. In these protected corridors, life flourishes. Herds mingle, predators hunt, and the ancient drama of migration continues, unbroken. Protecting these pathways is not just about saving a single species. It is about preserving the grand, dynamic processes that keep entire ecosystems healthy and alive. In the silent footsteps of migrating herds, the future of the wild is written one corridor at a time. The instinct to move, to seek, and to survive is a universal story, written across continents and centuries. In Africa, the Great Migrations are a living river of life, a spectacle that begins with the first tremors of anticipation. As the rains approach, wildebeest gather by the thousands, their bodies pressed together, eyes wide and alert, sensing the subtle shift in the wind that signals the coming journey. Across the savanna, zebras join the throng, their stripes a living camouflage in the sea of movement. Birds wheel overhead, their calls echoing the urgency below. The migration is not a single event, but a rolling tide, an endless search for fresh grass, for water, for survival. Far across the Atlantic, in South America, another vast wilderness pulses with life. Brazil's Cerrado, a sprawling tropical savanna, is a mosaic of grasslands, scrub and forest, shaped by ancient cycles of rain and fire. Here the land stretches to the horizon, dotted with flowering plants and twisted trees. The air hums with insects, and every patch of grass conceals a hidden drama. The Cerrado is the cradle of rivers, its veins feeding the continent. Along these waterways animals gather. Capybaras slip into the cool current, caimans bask on muddy banks, and flocks of birds descend to drink. The wildlife here is as varied as the land itself. Armadillos scuttle through the undergrowth, their armored bodies blending with the earth. Parrots flash through the trees, their calls ringing out in the dawn. At the top of the food chain, the jaguar moves with silent power. Its golden eyes scan the shadows, muscles rippling beneath its spotted coat. With a single decisive leap, it brings down its prey, its bite strong enough to pierce bone. The maned wolf, tall and elegant, glides through the grass on impossibly long legs. Its reddish fur glows in the evening sun. Unlike any other canid, it feasts on fruit as much as flesh, pausing to nibble the wolf's apple, a bright orange berry that sustains it through the dry season. The giant anteater, a creature of ancient lineage, sweeps its bushy tail behind it as it searches for food. With a flick of its tongue, 2 feet long and sticky, it devours thousands of ants and termites in a single meal, its movements slow and deliberate. Along the riverbanks, capybaras gather in family groups. The world's largest rodents, they are gentle giants, their lives revolving around water. They swim with ease, their young tumbling in the shallows, always alert for the shadow of a predator. In both Africa and Brazil, the rhythm of migration is ancient and unbroken. Herds move with the seasons, following the promise of rain and new growth. Birds trace invisible highways in the sky, their journeys spanning continents. The river crossings are moments of high drama. In Africa, wildebeest plunge into churning water, driven by hunger and instinct. Crocodiles wait below, the outcome uncertain with every leap. In the Cerrado, jaguars swim across rivers in pursuit of prey, while capybaras watch warily from the reeds. At dawn, flocks of birds rise in a cloud, their wings catching the first light. These migrations are more than a struggle for survival. They're a celebration of life's persistence. Each step, each wingbeat is a testament to the resilience and beauty of the natural world. From the thundering hooves of wildebeest to the silent passage of jaguars, the journey is never easy. Drought, predators, and distance test every traveler, but still they move, drawn onward by the promise of life. At night, elephants travel by moonlight, their memories guiding them to hidden waterholes. In the Cerrado, nocturnal creatures emerge, their eyes shining in the darkness, each with its own path to follow. The great migrations are a living thread, weaving together the destinies of countless species. They remind us that every animal, from the smallest insect to the mightiest mammal, is part of a vast, interconnected web. In these wild places, life unfolds in endless variety. Predators and prey, grazers and hunters all play their part in the grand drama of migration. As the sun sets, the land glows with the promise of another day. The journey continues as it has for millennia, a testament to the enduring spirit of the wild. In the quiet that follows, animals rest, gathering strength for the next leg of their journey. The cycle of migration, of movement and renewal, never truly ends. With the dawn, the world stirs once more. The great migrations begin anew, a living testament to the resilience, beauty, and wonder of nature's most epic journeys. As the last rays of sunlight fade from the savanna and the Cerrado, a different world awakens, one hidden in shadow, alive with the quiet urgency of night. While daylight migrations capture our imagination, an equally remarkable journey unfolds under the cover of darkness. In the African bush, the air cools and the landscape transforms. Small herds of spring hares emerge from their burrows, their powerful hind legs launching them across the moonlit grass in search of fresh shoots. Above, clouds of fruit bats set out from their roosts, navigating by scent and starlight. These silent aviators travel miles each night, seeking ripening figs and wild dates, pollinating flowers and spreading seeds as they go. Unseen gardeners of the night. On the banks of hidden waterholes, flocks of nightjars take to the air, their cryptic plumage blending seamlessly with the shadows. With sudden sweeps and agile turns, they snatch moths and beetles drawn by the moon. Farther south, in Brazil's Cerrado, a procession of leafcutter ants begins its nightly march. Under the guidance of pheromone trails, thousands of workers fan out in columns, harvesting pieces of leaves to nourish their subterranean fungus gardens. Their movement, precise and purposeful, is a migration in miniature, an endless cycle of foraging and return. Meanwhile, armadillos and opossums shuffle through the undergrowth, their keen noses searching for insects and fallen fruit. The elusive night monkey, with its oversized eyes, leaps from branch to branch, feeding on nectar and insects, while avoiding the gaze of nocturnal predators. Predators, too, are on the move. In Africa, hyenas prowl in loose groups, their whooping calls echoing across the dark plains. Lions, their golden eyes glowing, patrol ancestral paths covering vast distances in search of prey. In the Cerrado, the jaguar's cousin, the ocelot, slips silently through the brush, following the scent of rodents and birds. Even the waterways stir with nocturnal travelers. Frogs and toads emerge from hiding, gathering at ponds to chorus and breed. Along the riverbanks, caimans slip into the water, gliding silently beneath the stars in search of fish and amphibians. These night migrations are quieter, more secretive but no less vital. Each movement in the darkness is a thread in the tapestry of life, connecting species and habitats in ways we are only beginning to understand. Beneath the silent sky, the world is alive with purpose, a living pulse that beats strongest when the sun is gone. As dawn approaches, the night travellers return, burrowing, roosting, hiding once more. Their unseen journeys ensure the renewal of the land, the pollination of plants, and the survival of countless species. In the hush before sunrise, the nocturnal migration ends and the day's great movement begins anew. Beneath the shimmering surface of the world's oceans lies a realm of motion and mystery, a world where migration is measured not in footsteps but in waves and currents. Here, vast underwater highways guide millions of creatures across unimaginable distances, linking continents and connecting the planet's blue heart. In the twilight depths, shoals of sardines gather off the coast of South Africa, forming a living river that stretches for miles. This is the legendary Sardine Run, a spectacle of synchronized movement. Silver bodies flash as they dart and weave, their formation shifting in response to unseen signals. Predators join the procession. Dolphins herd the sardines into tight balls, while sharks slice through the chaos and gannets plunge from above in a frenzy of wings and water. Farther out to sea turtles embark on journeys that span entire oceans. From the warm sands where they hatch, green turtles navigate by the Earth's magnetic field, returning years later to the very beaches of their birth. Their migration, silent and solitary, is a testament to ancient memory and unerring instinct, crossing thousands of miles to ensure the next generation. In the open Pacific, humpback whales undertake one of the longest migrations on Earth. These gentle giants travel from the icy feeding grounds of Antarctica to the tropical breeding waters near Hawaii. Mothers and calves glide through the blue, their haunting songs echoing for miles, a chorus that guides, comforts, and connects them on their epic voyage. Below the waves, smaller travelers move in equally dramatic ways. Every night, the largest migration on the planet takes place in near-total darkness. Billions of plankton, jellyfish, and tiny fish rise from the deep ocean to feed near the surface, a vertical migration that nourishes the entire marine food web. Lanternfish shimmer with bioluminescence, creating living constellations in the blackness, while squid and crustaceans follow, feeding and being fed upon in a nightly ballet. Even the coral reefs are alive with migration. Cleaner wrasser dart between fish, offering their services to passing parrotfish and groupers. Eels, too, feel the pull of distant waters. The European eel leaves its freshwater home, winding through rivers and across the Atlantic to spawn in the mysterious Sargasso Sea, a journey as enigmatic as the creatures themselves. These underwater migrations are invisible to most, yet they shape the rhythms of the sea. They ensure the survival of species, the renewal of habitats, and the health of entire ecosystems. From the smallest plankton to the mightiest whale, each traveller follows a path carved by instinct, current, and the eternal pull of the tides. As we marvel at these ocean odysseys, we are reminded that the world's greatest journeys are not always seen, but they are always happening. Beneath the waves, beneath our notice, in the silent blue that covers most of our planet. High above the land and sea, where the earth curves away into blue, another great migration unfolds, one that paints the sky with movement and echoes through the ages with ancient songs. This is the epic journey of migratory birds, whose wings carry them across continents, over deserts, mountains, and oceans, in a display of endurance that defies imagination. As autumn's chill settles over the northern hemisphere, flocks gather at the edges of lakes and fields. The air fills with the calls of geese, cranes, and starlings, each voice a thread in the tapestry of migration. In a single, coordinated surge, they launch skyward, V-formations slicing through clouds, spirals of starlings twisting in mesmerizing murmurations. The Arctic tern, a small, graceful bird cloaked in white and black, embarks on the longest migration of any animal on Earth. Each year it journeys from the icy reaches of the Arctic to the sunlit shores of Antarctica and back, a round trip of nearly 44,000 miles. Riding the winds, it follows invisible highways in the sky, guided by the sun, the stars, and the subtle pull of the planet's magnetic field. Far below, the Sahara Desert sprawls, a daunting barrier of heat and sand. Yet swallows and warblers cross this expanse, sustained by fat reserves and an unyielding drive to reach distant feeding grounds. Some, like the bar-tailed godwit, perform non-stop flights of over 7,000 miles, battling storms, hunger, and exhaustion, never touching down until they reach their destination. Over mountain ranges, cranes ascend on thermals, their broad wings riding columns of rising air. Their trumpeting calls echo across valleys and peaks, signaling the passage of generations. In the forests of North America, monarch butterflies join the avian travelers, their own migration a fluttering river of orange and black. At night, the sky becomes a hidden highway. Millions of songbirds travel under cover of darkness, navigating by the stars and the faint glow of the Milky Way. Radar reveals their passage as great clouds of movement, invisible to the eye but vital for survival. On distant mudflats and in coastal wetlands, the journey pauses. Here, exhausted travelers feed and rest, refueling for the next leg of their odyssey. These stopover sites, teeming with life, are critical links in a chain that spans the globe. From the frozen tundra to tropical rainforests, from the cliffs of Iceland to the forests of South America, the story of bird migration is one of resilience and wonder. Each wingbeat is a testament to instinct, memory, and the unbreakable bond between life and the changing seasons. As the sun rises on a new day, the sky fills once more with travelers, reminding us that the world is connected not just by land and sea, but by the journeys of those who take flight. Beneath the sweep of wings and the thunder of hooves, another migration unfolds, one almost invisible yet vital to life on Earth. This is the world of insect migrations, where billions of tiny travelers set out on epic journeys, shaping ecosystems in ways both seen and unseen. Across the grasslands and forests, clouds of painted lady butterflies rise on delicate wings, embarking on a multi-generational trek that can span continents. Each individual may travel only part of the route, but together they form a living chain-linking distant habitats. Their arrival brings bursts of color to meadows and fields, pollinating wildflowers and sustaining food webs as they go. In the skies above, dragonflies begin their astonishing voyage. The globe skimmer, a shimmering jewel of the wetlands, undertakes the longest insect migration known, crossing the Indian Ocean from India to East Africa and back. Riding prevailing winds, these aerial acrobats traverse thousands of miles, their delicate bodies powered by sun-warmed thermals and an ancient instinct to roam. Along the way, they consume countless mosquitoes and gnats, providing natural pest control for the regions they visit. Far below, armies of locusts surge across the savanna in waves that darken the sky. Though often feared for their destructive power, these migrations are part of a complex ecological balance. Swarms redistribute nutrients, feed countless predators, and trigger bursts of new plant growth once they pass. Even at night, the air is alive with movement. Moths, guided by the moon and the Earth's magnetic field, travel across continents in search of breeding grounds. Their journeys connect distant ecosystems, pollinate night-blooming plants, and provide food for bats and birds alike. Each migration is a feat of endurance and navigation, guided by cues we are only beginning to understand. Shifts in temperature, the scent of distant rains, the subtle tug of the planet's magnetic lines, and their impact is profound. By moving pollen, seeds, and nutrients across vast distances, migrating insects knit together the fabric of life, yet these journeys are increasingly at risk. Habitat loss, pesticides, and climate change threaten to unravel the delicate roots that insects have followed for millennia. As we marvel at their resilience and ingenuity, we are reminded that even the smallest travelers play an outsized role in the health of our planet. In the hush of dawn, as a butterfly alights on a dew-kissed petal, or a dragonfly glimmers above a pond, we glimpse the quiet miracle of insect migration, a hidden river of life flowing across the world, sustaining the wild in ways both subtle and profound. Across continents and oceans, migratory animals have followed the same ancient routes for countless generations. But today, the world they traverse is changing faster than ever before. Climate change is rewriting the rules of migration, altering landscapes, shifting seasons, and reshaping the delicate balance that guides these epic journeys. In the vast savannas, the timing of rains has become unpredictable. Wildebeest herds, once synced to the rhythm of renewal, now arrive to find rivers dry or grasslands parched. Calves are born into scarcity, and the chain of life that depends on their passage is thrown into uncertainty. High in the skies, migratory birds face a vanishing buffet. Flowers bloom earlier, insects hatch out of sync, and the once reliable stopover sites become silent and empty. Exhausted, some birds arrive too late for the feast that fuels their journey onward, while others never make it at all. In the Arctic, melting ice forces caribou to cross wider, more dangerous rivers. The calves struggle to keep up, and predators wait at the water's edge. The ancient trails, once marked by frozen ground, now vanish beneath pools of meltwater and unfamiliar terrain. Beneath the waves, sea turtles and whales follow invisible highways shaped by ocean currents. But as waters warm, these currents shift, scattering food sources and nesting beaches. Leatherback turtles, guided by the temperature of the sand, find their nesting sites too hot for their eggs to survive. Even the smallest travelers feel the change. Monarch butterflies, journeying from Canada to Mexico, face drought-stricken meadows and shrinking forests. Their delicate wings must now carry them farther, with less rest and fewer places to refuel. For each of these animals, migration is not just a journey, it is a race against time, a test of resilience against a world in flux. The signals they once trusted, rainfall, daylight, temperature, are now unpredictable. Some species adapt, altering their routes or timing. Others falter, their numbers dwindling as the barriers grow. Yet there is hope. Across the globe, conservationists are working to protect critical habitats, restore migration corridors, and help species adapt to a new reality. By learning from the challenges faced by migratory animals, we can find ways to safeguard the wild rhythms that sustain life on Earth. As dawn breaks over a restless landscape, the world's great migrations continue, enduring, adapting, and reminding us that the fate of these travelers is bound to our own. The path ahead may be uncertain, but the journey endures, written in the wings, hooves, and fins of those who roam.